Hello everyone, welcome back to the lecture series on microwave and radar engineering. In this lecture, I am going to discuss the operation of continuous wave radar with the help of its block diagram along with the concept of Doppler effect. So these are the learning outcomes of this lecture. After successful completion of this lecture, you will be able to explain the working of continuous wave radar with the help of its block diagram and the applications of continuous wave radar, advantages and limitations of the continuous wave radar, as well as you can understand the concept of Doppler effect, which is very useful for this continuous wave radar. So first one, it is Doppler effect. So before going to discuss about this concept, so we'll have the small review of the radar. So a radar detects the presence of objects and locates their position in space by transmitting electromagnetic energy and observing the returned echo signals. A pulsed radar transmits a relatively short burst of electromagnetic energy, after which the receiver is turned on to listen for the echoes. The echo not only indicates that a target is present, but the time that elapses between the transmission of the pulse and the reception of the echo is a measure of the distance to the target. The radar transmitter may be operated continuously rather than pulsed if the strong transmitted signal can be separated from the weak echo signal. The received echo signal power is considerably small than the transmitter power. It might be as little as 10 power minus 18 that of the transmitter power, sometimes even less also. So what is the echo signal pulse? It will be 10 power minus 18th of that transmitter power, transmitter signal. So 10 power 18th of the transmitter signal. Okay. Here the separate antennas for transmission and reception helps segregate the weak echo signal from the strong leakage signal, but the isolation is usually not sufficient. A feasible technique for separating the received signal from the transmitted signal, where there is relative motion between the radar and the target, is based on recognizing the change in the echo signal frequency caused by the Doppler effect. So it is well known in the fields of optics and acoustics that if either the source of oscillation or the observer of the oscillation is in motion, an apparent shift in frequency will result. So this is called the Doppler effect, or it is the basis of CW radar, that is continuous wave radar. So coming to the Doppler effect, so here if the target is not stationary, that means if the target is in motion, then there will be a change in the frequency of the signal that is transmitted from the radar and that is received by the radar. So there is a frequency change in the signal which will be transmitted by the radar and the signal which is received by the radar. So this effect is known as Doppler effect. Okay. So electromagnetic energy scattered by the hydrometers, that means any weather condition produced by water or water vapor in the atmosphere, such as rain, snow or clouds, moving towards the or away from the radar causes the frequency change. So the frequency of return signal, compared to the transmitted signal, we can find the radial velocity. By comparing these two signals, we can find the radial velocity. Okay. So according to the Doppler effect, we will get the two possible cases. So that is, first case it is if the target is moving away from the target radar, or if the target is moving towards to the radar. Okay. So what will happen, we will see. See here. So if the source is at rest and the observer is at rest. See, the sound source, if the sound source, it is continuously generating the sound signal, so which is with the frequency of fs, and here observer can observe the frequency of that sound signal with the f0. So here in this case, that is source is at rest and observer is at rest. So in this case, what will be the frequency conditions? That is fs is equals to f0, that is the source frequency is equals to the observer frequency, right? Now we'll move to the next case. So sound source moving towards the observer. Here the sound source which is moving towards the observer. See, so it is moving towards the observer. Then, so what is the relation between these frequencies? Frequency fs and f0. So can you tell me what is the relation between these two? That is f0 is greater than fs. Which case the sound source is moving towards the observer. That is the frequency of the received signal will increase when the target moves towards the direction of the radar. Okay, in the case of radars, right? Next, see here, observer hears increased pitch, that is with the shorter wavelengths. Okay. Next, sound source moving away from the observer, right? So here the source is moving away from the observer. So in this case, we will see what will happen. What is the relation between these two frequencies? So if the source is moving away from the observer, right? So observer frequency and sound, these source frequencies are related by, see, fs is greater than f0, that is f0 is less than fs. So because of this, observer hears decreased pitch, that is longer wavelengths, because of that longer wavelengths. So from this, the frequency of the received signal will decrease. The frequency of the received signal will decrease when the target moves away from the radar. Okay. So you can observe this one. So observed frequencies, source toward the observer, that is there is an increase in frequency, f0 is equals to v by v0 minus vs into fs. So source away from the observer. Okay. Source is away from the observer, then decreased frequency, there is a frequency decrease, that is f0 is equals to v by v0 plus vs into fs. Okay. Now we'll derive the Doppler frequency, FD. Okay, derivation of Doppler frequency. So before going to discuss this one, so the distance between the radar and the target is nothing but the range of the target, or simply the range, that is capital R. Okay. Therefore, the total distance between the radar and the target in a two-way communication path will be 2R, since the radar transmits a signal to the target and accordingly the target sends an echo signal to the radar. So from that it will be the 2R. Okay. So if lambda is one wavelength, if lambda is one wavelength, then the number of wavelengths capital N that are present in a two-way communication path, between the radar and the target will be equal to 2R by lambda. Okay, 2R by lambda. So next, now we know that the wavelength, one wavelength lambda corresponds to an angular excursion of 2 pi radians. An angular excursion of 2 pi radians. So the total angle of excursion made by the electromagnetic wave during the two-way communication path, between the radar and the target will be equal to 4 pi r by lambda radians. So it will be 4 pi r by lambda radians. So following is the mathematical formula for angular frequency. We know omega equals to 2 pi f. We know that omega equals to 2 pi f. So that will be considered as equation 1. So that following equation shows the mathematical relationship between the angular frequency omega and phase angle pi. So we know that omega equals to d phi by dt. d phi by dt, that will be considered as equation 2, omega equals to d phi by dt. So equate the right hand side terms of equation 1 and equation 2. So that already we are having the two equations. Since the left hand side terms of those two equations are same, that is omega. So from that 2 pi f is equals to d phi by dt. So from this f is equals to, what is f? F is equals to 1 by 2 pi into d phi by dt. That will be considered as equation 3. Okay. Now substitute f is equals to fd. That means that will be the Doppler frequency. So substitute f equals to fd and pi is equals to 4 pi r by lambda. That already so we have considered that pi is equals to 4 pi r by lambda. So now substitute this in equation 3. Now the equation 3 will becomes f becomes fd 1 by 2 pi d by dt of pi is equals to 4 pi r by lambda. So that is 4 pi r by lambda. Okay. So fd is equals to 1 by 2 pi 4 pi by lambda into dr by dt. fd is equals to 1 by 2 pi 4 pi by lambda into dr by dt. So from that fd is equals to 2 vr by lambda. So 2 by lambda is there and dr by dt is nothing but relative velocity. Okay, because rate of distance by time. Okay, so that will be the velocity. Now fd is equals to 2 vr by lambda. That will be considered as equation 4. So where fd is equals to, fd is the Doppler frequency and vr is the relative velocity. Vr is the relative velocity of the target, because we are in moving target conditions. Okay, so we can find the value of Doppler frequency fd by substituting vr and lambda in equation 4, because so we know that substituting lambda is equals to what? C by f, right? So that is substitute that lambda equals to C by f in equation 4. Now that equation 4, that will becomes fd equals to 2 vr f by c. That will be the equation 5. Okay. So see, from that fd is equals to what? fd is equals to 2 vr f by c. fd is equals to 2 vr f by c. fd is already we know that Doppler frequency, and f is the frequency of the transmitted signal, and vr is the relative velocity, already we know. C is the speed of the light and is equal to 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. Okay, so we can find the value of Doppler frequency by substituting the values of vr, f and c in equation 5. Okay, note here it is, both equation 4 and equation 5 shows the formula of Doppler frequency only. So here also equation 4 and equation 5 both are showing the formula of Doppler frequency. Okay, so we can use it either equation 4 or equation 5 for finding the Doppler frequency based upon the given data, right? So next, coming to the continuous wave radar concept. Continuous wave radar. Okay, simply it is called as CW radar. So coming to the introduction, okay, so the basic radar uses the same antenna for both transmission and reception of signals, right? So we can use this type of radar when the target is stationary. Okay, so single antenna for both transmission and reception we are using for this case for the stationary targets, that is not moving, or when the radar can be operated with pulsed signal, that already we have seen in the pulse radars, right? The radar which operates with continuous signal or continuous wave for detecting non-stationary targets. Non-stationary targets or moving targets is called continuous wave radar. Continuous wave radar or simply CW radar. Once again I am repeating, the radar which operates with continuous wave signal for detecting non-stationary targets or moving targets is called continuous wave radar or simply CW radar. Okay, this radar requires two antennas, among which one antenna is used for transmitting the signals and the other antenna is used for receiving the signals. Okay, a simple CW radar is shown in this figure. So the CW radar consists of transmitter, detector, beat frequency amplifier and an indicator. Okay, the transmitter transmits a continuous wave of frequency oscillations or oscillation of frequency f0, which is radiated by the antenna. Okay, so an amount of radiated energy is intercepted by the target and some of this energy is scattered back in the direction of the radar. This energy is collected by the receiving antenna, right? If the target is in motion with a relative velocity Vr to the radar, then the received signal will be shifted by an amount of plus or minus Fd. That is, already we know Fd is Doppler frequency. So there will be a shift in frequency, that is plus or minus Fd. Okay, the plus sign associated with the Doppler frequency applies if the distance between the target and the radar is decreasing, that is closing the target, that is when the received signal frequency is greater than the transmitted signal frequency. Received signal frequency is greater than the transmitted signal frequency. Okay, the minus sign associated with the Doppler frequency applies if the distance between the target and the radar is increasing. Okay, that is when the received signal frequency is less than the transmitted signal frequency. Okay, so the received echo signal at a frequency f0 plus or minus Fd, because either it is increasing or decreasing. Okay, f0 plus or minus Fd enters the radar via the antenna and is heterodyne receiver and is heterodyne in the detector with a part of the transmitted signal f0, to produce a Doppler beat frequency Fd. To produce the Doppler beat frequency Fd, so the sign is lost in this process. That we will discuss later. The detailed discussion will be there. So the purpose of the Doppler amplifier is to eliminate the echoes from the stationary targets and to amplify the Doppler echo signal to a level where it can be used to operate an indicating device. So it must be having a frequency characteristics like okay, so the low frequency cutoff must be high enough to reject the DC component caused by the stationary targets. So the upper cutoff frequency is selected to pass the highest Doppler frequency expected. Okay, then finally an indicator device used, generally it consists of a pair of earphones or a frequency meter. So coming to the block diagram of CW radar. We know that CW radar contains two antennas, transmitting antenna and receiving antenna. So this figure shows the block diagram of continuous wave radar, right? The block diagram of continuous wave Doppler radar contains a set of blocks, and here we will discuss the function of each block. Okay, so it is having CW transmitter, mixer and the local oscillator, sideband filter, mixer, one more mixer, and IF amplifier, detector, Doppler amplifier and an indicator. Okay, so each one we will discuss. So first one will be CW transmitter, continuous wave transmitter. So it produces an analog signal having a frequency of f0. Frequency of f0. So the output of the CW transmitter is connected to both the transmitting antenna and the mixer 1. Here already we have seen. So output of that CW transmitter is connected to transmitting antenna as well as the mixer 1. Okay. So local oscillator. The local oscillator, it produces a signal having a frequency of FL. Produces the signal having a frequency of FL. The output of local oscillator is connected to the mixer 1, as already we have seen in the block diagram. Okay. So next, mixer 1. So first mixer will be, the mixer can produce both sum and difference of the frequencies that are applied to it. So there it is, transmitted signal applied and local oscillator signal is applied to that mixer 1. Okay. The signals having frequencies of F0 and FL are applied to the mixer 1 from the transmitter, CW transmitter and the local oscillator. So the mixer mixer 1 will be produced at the output of having the frequencies sum and differences, F0 plus FL and F0 minus FL. Okay. So that output of that mixer 1 will be connected to the sideband filter. So as the name suggests that sideband filter allows a particular sideband frequencies, either upper sideband or lower sideband frequencies. Okay. So the sideband filter shown in this above figure, in that block diagram, it can only produces upper sideband frequencies, that is F0 plus FL. It can only produce the upper sideband frequencies. Here it is upper sideband, lower sidebands are there. So it can be produced only F0 plus FL. Next, this output will be connected to the mixer 2. And one more input also there for the mixer 2. So mixer 2, that mixer can produce both sum and difference of the frequencies that are applied to it. The signals having the frequencies F0 plus FL, which is produced from the sideband. Okay. Next, here it is F0 plus or minus FD are applied to the mixer 2. So here these F0 plus or minus FD are from the receiving antenna signal. So that receiving antenna received the signal of the frequencies F0 plus or minus FD. Because of the Doppler frequency, F0 plus or minus FD is there. Okay. So the mixer 2 will produce the output having the frequencies of either addition or difference. Right? So first addition of these two will be 2 F0 plus FL plus or minus FD, and the subtraction of these two will be, difference will be FL plus or minus FD. Right? So IF amplifier, next section will be IF amplifier, intermediate frequency amplifier. So the intermediate frequency amplifier amplifies the intermediate frequency signal. The IF amplifier shown in this figure allows only the intermediate frequency of FL plus or minus FD and amplifies it. Okay. So it allows only FL plus or minus FD and it will be amplified in this one. Next section will be the detector. So it detects the signal which is having the Doppler frequency only, which is having the Doppler frequency FD. Okay. So Doppler frequency, it will be separated right here. Next one will be the Doppler amplifier. As that name suggests that Doppler amplifier amplifies the signal which is having the Doppler frequency FD. Okay, after separation, so it will be amplified in this Doppler amplifier. So next section will be the indicator. So it indicates the information related to relative velocity and whether the target is inbound or outbound. Okay. So CW Doppler radars give accurate measurement of relative velocities. Hence, these are used mostly where the information of velocity is more important than the actual range. Okay. So these are mostly useful in where the information of the velocity is more important. So these are mainly useful to find the velocity of the targets. Okay. So this will be the example of this continuous wave radar. Okay. Next, applications. Applications of the CW radar. So main applications are traffic control radar, that will be in speed gauges. So speed gauges are very specialized CW radars. A speed gauge radar uses the Doppler frequency for measurement of the speed. Next one will be Doppler radar motion sensor. Simple and inexpensive Doppler radar sensors can trigger switching functions such as alarms, or simply be used as a door opener or switching for lighting, or switch for lighting. Next one will be motion monitoring. Next, advantages of the CW radar. So because of the simplicity, CW radar are inexpensive to manufacture, relatively free from failure, cheap to maintain, and fully automated. So more sophisticated CW radar systems can reliably achieve accurate detections exceeding 100 kilometers distance while providing missile illumination. Doppler processing allows signal integration between successive receiver samples. So this means that the number of samples can be increased to extend the detection range without increasing transmitted power. So next one will be the limitations of the continuous wave radar. So here unmodulated, this will be the unmodulated continuous wave radar, because next one we are having frequency modulated CW radar. So please remember, this will be the unmodulated continuous wave radar, or simply CW radar. So the unmodulated continuous wave radar cannot measure the distance. It only can measure the speed of the targets. Signal amplitude provides the only way to determine which object corresponds with which speed measurement when there is more than one moving object near the receiver. But amplitude information is not useful without range measurement to evaluate target size. So these are the references followed for this lecture. Thank you.